Hey guys, welcome to Make It in Dubai, episode number 1515. Hey, try something
What the
different.
fuck was that,
I
bro?
tried something different, bro. Just leave it.
Okay,
This is me, Vignesh.
and this is your co-host Shivank.
Yes, right or left, whatever side he's in. What's up, man?
All good, bro.
Yes,
What's up?
all good, bro. So, just want to say, a lot of things changed in our lives, which is why we were not able to put a podcast last week. But they say changes happen for the best, so fingers crossed, right?
Yes.
so, So the reason why we want to start today's podcast is actually Shiv and I we had a very interesting conversation today regarding a lot of things in my life and in his life. Now, the stuff that's happening in my life, I will actually tell you guys later. There are a lot of things that need to move there. There are a lot of moving parts. So once it's completely moved, I'll tell you a lot of details, and trust me, that'll actually make your lives better as well because there's so many lessons to learn from there, right?
Yeah, I can vouch for it. Those were pretty interesting lessons.
I know, right?
And
So
and and it's more like I think since you've gone through it firsthand, it's like we talk about a lot of stuff which we learn from people, but this is something firsthand, so it will be very, valuable in that sense.
true. It's like an exercise for myself to see, okay, if I make it, then this will be an amazing lesson for you guys, right? But today we're going to focus on Shiv. Because Shiv and we had a very interesting conversation in the morning. It just happened. And turns out, I think we were talking for an hour, and then we were like, holy shit, man, we should have just done this in the podcast because this would have helped people. So we'll try our best to uh, walk you guys through exactly everything that we discussed in the podcast. I mean, in the couch that we discussed it. So in that way, maybe you guys can also understand exactly what were the talking points. How is it going to help Shiv? How it did help me? How it can help you? And you can maybe make some decisions based on that.
Do you want to keep it like a brainstorming session, or you want to keep it like I'm just trying to think what style we can go for
I don't know, man.
I think like I can give a background of where I'm coming from, so everybody gets an idea, and then I think you can put whatever stuff you have in mind. Then I can say the perspective I have. We can talk about
Yeah, let's give them a like. See, I know everything about you, so that's different. Let's give them a situation background as to what's happening, so they understand why we are taking the decision that we are taking. So they know a bit about you, and it makes sense, like you said. So just give them a brief of who you are.
I think that will make more sense.
Right.
So it's fine. I'll start with giving a background of since you guys are listening right now. It's good to understand. I think it's not extremely common scenario, but yeah, who people who are ambitious and you have a drive might have similar scenarios. So this will be very helpful if you're one of those who are ambitious in their career path and they want to make it big. And of course, the podcast will make it in Dubai, so we're all up for it. And this is something which is common in this whole space as well. So where I'm coming from is that I've always had that kind of entrepreneurial feeling where I want to start something of my own and have something of my own. And of course, the it's not because of everybody like says about it that you have to be your own boss or you have to be something of something of the sort. But it's more like okay, I actually like having my own ideas. I actually like pursuing my own ideas. Okay, so that is the background. Like even before this, I used to have couple. I was a YouTuber before, and I had couple of websites which I was ongoing. So right now I'm in Dubai. Okay, I have a job. Okay, it's been 4 years now since I've been in this particular company and joining at the junior level and now transitioning to a senior team member and then team lead and now manager. I've been through the journey within 4 years. So I've achieved a lot of success in this particular space a bit faster, or you can say, a bit, the growth is a bit faster in that sense. So now what's happening is that there are a couple of places I'm coming from. So I want to highlight that part that there was one part we discussed Vignesh and I had a conversation about it, I think a month ago about this, where I'll break it down for you guys. So there are three career paths which people like us go for. One is a space where let's say you're working and you have your side hustle ongoing. Okay. Second is you have your job and you just continue working towards that, which we'll talk about a bit more. And the third is where you drop your stuff as a job. You said, fuck it, I'm done. I know enough skills. I can just leave everything and start something of my own. Now, these are three dimensions we have all faced, and I'm particularly facing that part as well. Now, this is where we discussed a lot about, and the second part, which I mentioned, is where you go all in on the company you're working for, because that's where the entrepreneurship comes in, and that's where a lot of things you discover about yourself comes in. So this is where we both discussed, and I thought that since I'm in marketing, CMO is the thing which will be the most exciting and the best thing. That's such an achievement if I can get that part. And since my career growth has been such where if I focus all my chips on one company right now, I know I have that problem solving skills. I know I can manage my time, manage my resources better, so I can go on that path. So we discussed this part and we saw a lot of ways of growth, and we saw a lot of ways to leverage the CMO piece as well for greater career growth. Now after the discussion, what happened is that I tried thinking of it in that lens. Okay, when I started working again, I mean, working as in getting back in the same zone, I was like, you know what, this whole marketing piece is mine. Right now, I'm just in like the performance marketing category. Like, performance marketing is my space, like paid marketing, paid acquisition. I was like, let's think from the CMO lens. If a CMO comes in the room, how does he talk? Or if a CMO has to take this piece, how will he approach it? So I started thinking from that lens, taking over the whole piece a bit by bit. Now, when I started doing that, of course, I made few moves and actually I tried shaping up things which was never thought before. And it's been like a month of time, so it's not like I've done a lot of massive things, but I made people think in a different way, even in the short duration, like having different vision in mind, different purpose, putting a lot of gaps which is there, like showcasing that, trying to fix that. Now, after a month, when I'm trying to reassess myself, I don't feel that pump. Okay, I don't feel a pump for the CMO bit. Like when I question myself as well, why is that happening? Which is why I know Vignesh and I had a conversation about this. So there's one realization which I had, and after this, I think Vignesh can also add more bit
I'm
to
just
it.
waiting for when you finish it. I'll just add a little more details and I'll start.
Yeah. So what happened is that whole CMO bit came in. I got in the mindset. I tried doing it, but I'm not feeling it. I was like, why am I not feeling it anymore? Why is it not happening? So it roots back to even when I worked before in Unilever, and I had a manager as well who's now the director of Unilever Europe. Okay, so he was a very passionately driven guy. He was like he had an owner mindset. That's what he called, like when somebody works in a company and they have an owner's mindset. That's when they have a drive to fucking grow to the highest position. That's the idea. He had an owner mindset. He was the one who will work his ass off. Let's say from 9 to 9, and it's not like he will ask you to work 9 to 9. He will himself work that hard. So he was the one who deliver on his words as well. He's that kind of guy. That's why the growth for him happened exponentially. So in that case, when I used to look at him, right, I was like, I don't want to be like this guy. I never got pumped. Like I don't want to have a life like him. That is where the seed of this thing got in. And now even when I look up to people who've reached the sea level suit, right, it's not pumping me enough. So in that sense, I was like, what is missing? Like so what is the part which is not giving this whole thing come into play? Which is where I also have something going in the parallel, like my Insta page, which I'm trying to build. My whole goal is to make a course which I'm gonna scale as well, and I actually want to grow more on those aspects because I believe I can, whatever I've learned, I can pass it on. Like whatever I'm learning from the company, I can pass it on to everybody. Like I want to grow an audience. I want to actually be in that space. I like it more. This is where the real feel got in for me. Now this is where it's very hard because that's what we discussed that there's one way of leaving everything and starting this whole piece. Just leave the whole company and just start this whole piece. So this whole discussion is about that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give it over to you.
So let me just add a few things to what Shiv said as well, right? So like Shiv said, the one thing is, yeah, he wanted to. So the whole CMO conversation came in because you could say that is my input a little bit there because I was talking to him from my shoes. So for me, I'm the kind of person. Okay, once I see power, I want it. Now people can say, that's this, that's that, whatever it is. But for me, okay, let's say if I'm a part of an organization, my next goal will be okay. What can I do that the CEO thinks okay when once the transition or when succession happens, Vignesh is going to take over. So what can I do to put myself in the best spot for that? That's how I always think. So when Shiv was just talking about how things are working in his firm and what can he do, what he can't do, what's the limitation, what's the path for success, I said he literally had everything played out to become the CMO. He had the resources, he had the knowledge, he had the capacity, he had the team, he had the leverage, he had every single thing going right for someone to end up being a CMO in his position. Now, that's why the whole conversation of CMO started. And Shiv said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go and I will become a CMO. And then he completely left everything. Now, and I mean left everything, like Shiv said, he also had a lot of side projects as well, where he had his own Insta page and he was working with a lot of other people on building different apps. And, there's a lot of different stuff going on. But Shiv's goal was always to become the best performance marketer out there. So that was the main thing. That was his Polaris, right? He wanted to become the best performance marketer. But the CMO was something new because he would. I don't think he wanted to become one, and plus he never imagined that he'd be in a situation where he can become a CMO. But that's life, right? You never imagine where you can be. So once he got this opportunity, I said, "Shiv, go for it, man. Not a lot of people get this opportunity, but you do. Go for it." And Shiv went for it, but then he realized, you know what? CMO is not for me. Now, when I say realized, a lot of people have to think that realization is a good thing because realization means you're self-aware about who you are. So I was just telling Shiv the same thing. If you realize that CMO is not your thing, I want you to walk me through the process of why did you realize CMO is not for me, right? He said, yeah, when I think about my, the C-level people, it doesn't pump me up. The whole thing doesn't pump me up. I said, why doesn't it pump you up? He said, because I was more of a guy who wanted to have my own thing. I wanted people to learn from me. I wanted to teach people and I wanted to be the best in what I do, which is performance marketing. Now, CMO is a different role. A CMO is fixed to an entity and you become what you are doing the best in the company. Yeah, that'll open a lot of different doors for you for future, career perspective, but that's not what Shiv wanted to do. Shiv had a different thing. So this whole conversation started that way. So, Shiv, why walk through the process of why you think the CMO role didn't pump you up in the first place?
Yeah, okay, that's a nice one. So let's say I'll tell you today we discussed this, and I thought, okay, you know what, CMO is a piece, and I'll research, like, I'll even try to implement a lot of stuff. So I walked into the one of the C-level person as well, and I just walked into the room, and I had something to talk about, and I discussed that, what, this is what I'm going for. What do you think is the key element required to be there? Just to get a perspective of things, because I actually dealt with a lot of people in the C-level as well, where I want to understand what do they think from different lenses of what is this whole CMO piece all about. And by the way, there's no CMO at the moment in the organization, which is why it was a
Open
good
position.
gap to fill. Yes. So in that sense, when I understood what is required, I was like, fine, okay, I can go for it. It's not like, it's not something out of the blue which I'm like, fuck, okay, I can't do this. I was like, fine, okay, makes sense. I can go on this path, and I can take these stuff, I can fix these paths, understand how this circuit works, understand what they're trying to say. Is missing from the CMO element, and I actually understood exactly. Basically, I understood what is required out of me. That was the first step. Second step is to start implementing a lot of stuff, right? I start implementing. I was like, okay, I find a gap in X part of the marketing team. I try to put that out. I try to push it, and I'm trying to work on fixing that part. I saw another gap in some other, there's another meeting we have for our marketing managers come in. I was the one who took control and said, you know what, you can do this, you can do that. I tried putting all that. Now, what happened in this whole process is that, of course, I'm occupied with, because my brain has to think about this all the time, right? Like, it has to be occupied and come up with solutions, come up with a lot of stuff. So I didn't mind that. But what happened when I was trying to do it, there's a satisfaction which you feel is not coming in. Okay, and it's not at the early phase. Early phase, I was like, fuck, I was pumped. What, things are working out. They're actually taking my opinion. I actually got a feedback. Yeah, this makes sense. This is actually working out. But I think it's naturally, I think it's your true self starts talking to yourself, which is why the reflection is very needed, right? Because I can still go on this path if I was a bit blinded. If I was like, have you seen those horses which have that fucking thing on their eyes? You just keep walking on the straight direction. I could have still been there. I could have gone there. I know I can do it. The problem is when I talk to myself, I'm like, there's a feeling of not getting that satisfaction. Okay, I represent this organization. I'm a CMO. Okay, deep down I felt that I'm still going in the rat race. I've always been a kind of guy, not to say because of movies and fucking TikTok reels or whatever, Insta reels have showed this, that, don't be the rat race or whatever. Me internally, it's not having that satisfaction of being in the space. I'll give you an example. Even when I was in my university, the normal way was to be in the 4 years, get the maximum grades out of it, and I was in computer science, so make the best and you be in a dean's list or whatever kind of list. I never give a fuck about that, and it's not like because I don't respect whoever has it. It's more like I don't get pumped by it, right? For me, I was like, I tried multiple stuff. I made a website, a fashion website. I made like a YouTube channel. That YouTube channel actually got to like 80,000 subscribers in a sense, and I had a Facebook page which had like 300,000 people following me. So when that happened, when I was leaving the university, there were people literally taking pictures of me, selfies with me, and there was a different feeling.
Yeah, boy.
So even the fact when I was leaving the university, I had to give a talk to the the second year, third year people, to guide them of what they can do in their careers and how they can shape things up. For me, that pumped me up. That like there's a bigger than some. I've built something basically from scratch, and I have a better idea of where my vision is going. Right, I'm that kind of guy. In this space, what is happening is if a CMO also comes in, there's a limitation to things because what I'm happening right now is someone else puts a vision. I have to translate that vision throughout. What am I going for? That itself is a bit limiting for me in itself. I can do it because it's like, okay, someone else tells me, what, there's a ladder, they have to climb that ladder, and from the top you can see the, I don't know, the ocean on the other side. Right now I'm not sitting at the top, someone else is sitting at the top and telling, what, the ocean is on the right side, and I have to make sure the people climbing the ladder, I have to guide them to go in the right sense of climb the ladder. I'm not the ladder guy. So which is why I personally didn't feel that, and I was like, this is where basically I start questioning myself, right? Why I'm not feeling it, and I was like, what? The thing I'm doing on the side is not exactly a side thing. Let's say my Insta page, my goal is to have, let's say, 100,000 people following me. Now it's 18K. Okay, once I reach 100, okay, I have a Udemy course which I know build. The other thought came to me is I went on ChatGPT and asked, what are the achievements which I should go for? Because got blocked so much in the CMO angle that I wasn't feeling the pump. So I was like brainstorm with ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT what are the achievements something someone should go for in the marketing space, and it said, what, you need to have your name or maybe like Forbes or some list which says top 10 marketers, or maybe have your name out with some books you've published, or maybe your name should be out in a marketing journal which is pretty famous in the marketing community. Things like these, or maybe going and giving a keynote of a lot of stuff. When I saw that list and I made that list, it gave me like slight pump. I don't know why, but I actually feel slight good. Like, what, fuck, this is making me feel good. I didn't realize it, but when I was making it, I felt that. Next day I was thinking, what, why was it making me feel like this? And I was like, fuck, this is what is motivating me, and it's not the other shit. Because then that is the seed basically how it got in.
So, yeah, so this was the same discussion we had in the couch as well. So when he said this, I said, okay, now that you've realized that you don't want to become CMO, there's two different pathways that you can go to, right? One is, again, Shiv is the kind of guy when he works in an organization, he's not just going to be one of those guys who's just working for the fuck of it, take everything from the organization and then put it on himself. No, wherever he is, he puts his best, right? So I said, okay, you're still anyway going to put that best there. Now, your best means your energy and everything gets trained there. How are you going to start building this? That was the first question. The second question is, okay, right now, Shiv is learning a lot from the people in his company. Shiv is learning a lot from, the organization that's involved. So once he learns a lot from there and he can translate that knowledge into whatever he wants to do, it's still from one source. So that's the conversation you're having. Okay, you're just limiting yourself to one source to learn what you want to learn to see that. And there was a good example. He said that, a lot of people just follow the ladder thinking that the ocean is above the wall on the right side of things, but you just believe that someone else has seen it, so I'm just going to believe that person and go. There's nothing wrong with that. Because if you really believe in your heart and soul that this person really is someone that I can trust, and for them the ocean is on the right side, then I'm going to go believe that the ocean is on the right side. But what if you believe that the ocean is on the left side? But now that's when your thing comes in, right? Now you can be one of those people that can follow, okay, no, I don't trust myself. So I'm going to trust someone who's made it, who's better than me, and just follow them and then see where it takes me. Or I'm just going to take accountability here and say, you know what? That's not for me. What I want to see what's on the left side of things. Let me climb my own ladder and see what happens. So that was a discussion that happened, and Shiv said, "Yeah, climbing my own ladder pumps me up because I get to learn a lot more from that. I get to meet a lot more different people from that, and that puts him on a platform to become one of the best marketers on the world. Because now he's not just going to know about one industry; he's going to know about hundreds or tens different industries. I don't know how many more industries are there, right? So yeah, he's going to learn a lot from those industries. So then we start continuing. Okay, now if you don't want a CMO piece, which means you will automatically limit your growth in the company because now you will not be giving a shit about a lot of shit which you would usually give a shit about. So what are you gonna do with that unspent energy? Where are you gonna put that energy that's unspent? Where are you gonna put that? So then we had a discussion. Okay, firstly let's establish the fact that okay, me quitting from the idea of becoming a CMO makes sense because now there's a certain characteristics that you need to become a CMO because I want to cover that as well. You need to be hungry for power, right? Now let's give a scenario where you have a meeting with the CEO, right? And you have Shiv and you have me. Now we both are thinking about becoming a CMO, but Shiv right now has his own doubts, thinking, I want to do my own stuff. So at that point, he's not going to reveal to the CEO saying, what, I want to become the CMO. Tell me what I should do so I can make your company better and I can reach that position. But now for me, where I don't have anything on my side going or any of the other shit going, I would, outcompete Shiv. I would sit there and tell the CEO on his face, listen, man, I want that piece. No one's taking it. That's mine. Now, what do I do? Tell me the steps that I need to take for me to ensure that I end up becoming the CMO, right? That's the difference. Now, once Shiv did not do that, I understand that, okay, his motives are somewhere else. Is that bad? Of course not. Because a lot of people think, oh, since you're not going for that, that means it's not for you. No. You can still end up in the same way. And I'll tell you why. So the discussion we had, which led to, okay, now if you don't want to become a CMO, what do you want to become? Okay, I want to become the best performance marketer out there. Now, to become the best performance marketer out there, what do you need? You need to have different knowledge in different industries. You need to have the right people in, giving you right ideas. The kind of networking events that you're going to must be the most, like, competitive or the most quality. I don't know how to phrase it, but I want to say it's the most,
Like niche. It's like
yeah. It's like it's the most compatible. That's the word I was looking for. It's the most compatible networking event for you because it, make sure it complements your goals and your vision and everything, right? Now, to become the best performance marketer, you need to not just know about one thing, you need to know about a lot of different things because performance marketing involves so much different variables. It's not just, okay, I'm going to put a million on ads, it's just going to blow up and I've made my thing. No. What's going to happen after the ad? What are the people that are coming in? And a lot more stuff. Like, see, this is Shiv stuff, so he can tell you the details, right? It's not mine. But what I understand is a lot more variables even in performance marketing. You still have to take care of different, you need to take care of a sales team, you need to take care of an actual digital marketing team, you need to take care of a content team, you need to take care of a team that's working on the product that you're fucking putting an ads on. There's so much different variables. So even as a performance marketer, Shiv needs to go through that journey to become the best. Now, when you become the best, you're already getting the knowledge that you need to get to in order to become a CMO anyway. So the journey is the same. But the difference is he's following his own vision here. He's coming up with his own lessons. He doesn't need anyone's validation. But for example, let's say you work in a company right now and you are pretty new to the company and someone's, let's say, 10 years, 15 years more experience than you in the company. Even though you come up with an idea, the first thing you want to do is go talk to that person to see how it is, or you're going to take their feedback because that's what a normal person would do in a company because they want to make sure that, okay, a 15-year-old experienced guy in the company can take me and guide me to the destination. But people who are working on their own shit do not give a fuck what people think. If they think it's right, they're going to go with their gut feeling and then they validate if the idea is right or wrong. Who do they validate with? People who have already made it. Because at the end of the day, people say that people are unique, but I believe that people are common. There's nothing unique. It's just that, yeah, people are unique. Like Shiv and I may be unique to each other, but you take it from a large spectrum, no one's unique. It's all the same, right? So you will always meet like minded people there. So when you get validated by like minded people who've made it, you understand, okay, I'm on the right path. That it's very hard to get on an organization because now you're not going for your own vision. An organization's vision might be, I want to be the best in, let's say, for example, you work in a hospital. I want to be the best hospital out there. They don't give a shit about finance. They don't give a shit about construction. They don't give a shit about any other industry. They want to be the best hospital out there. Which means if Shiv works in a company that only focuses on hospitals, he'll just become a best performance marketer for hospital industry. Now he doesn't want that for himself. He wants to be the best performance marketer for the entire fucking thing. Like the entire pie, he wants to be the best for that. Because in that way he can understand how each of the industries work, who are the people that work there, and there's a lot more variables that go into it. So we were talking about it, we said, okay, that's a beautiful decision now. You want to go ahead. Second question. Do you still want to be part of the company or you want to completely leave the company? Because now, once you leave the company, you become an entrepreneur, not an intrapreneur. Now, entrepreneur's journey, we all know it's going to be extremely hard. Whoever tells you it's easy can fuck off, to be honest. It's extremely hard when you have to delegate your own 24 hours by yourself because now your productivity is determined by you. When you have a vision, you have a goal, how are you going to do it? Right? Two, it's your own money going out. There's no one giving you money. How are you going to, succeed? So that whole thing on you, you building out and you getting different resources. If you work in a company, the company has a lot of different resources. Now, people who are new to this podcast or listening to us, you should know that Shiv was involved or invited, in fact, to the Google's office, right? It was Google, right? So now, when she was in the Google office, he would have never got that access normally if he was by himself. He got that access because of his company. Now, what can Shiv do? Okay, if he leaves everything, will he get that kind of access? No. But he can do his best in the company to make sure the company is on the best fucking path to make sure it's the next big thing. But while doing that, he's making his own contacts, which will help him succeed on his own. So it gives him a contact in different industries, it gives him a contact in different countries, which he can use for himself. So, how I would tell everybody to use an organization is give your heart and soul, but make sure that your heart and soul is actually complementing for your own dreams as well, right? But you have to give your heart and soul. Either you give your heart and soul for the company that you're working for, or you give your heart and soul for the objective and the vision you're working for. So once you give your heart and soul, right? So this is another conversation I was having with Shiv. Okay, you make the contacts here now. You use this. There's two ways. Either you work so high to a company that you reach this level and that you can't just blast off the ceiling, or like 21 Jump Street, he says, right? He just wants to go over the ceiling, right? Now, how can you bounce using company as a ceiling? By making the contacts that you do. Like, I don't want to get into a bit more personal details of Shiv's company, but I'll get into my own personal details so you guys understand what's the context I'm talking about. Now, one of my contacts right now who I'm working with, he's one of my closest friends right now. His name is Sean. I think I just spoke about it before. Now, I wouldn't have met him without my old company. Now, why did I meet him? Because there was an opportunity in my old company which I had to go talk to him about, and then we became really good friends, and that built something else, and it went to a different thing. But I was not dependent on the company to meet Sean. The company was dependent on me to meet Sean, right? So the dependency should come on you. It should be within you. Like no entity should. You should not be different. Like dependent on an entity for your own success. You should be dependent on yourself. So that's when I was telling to bounce off to something else because you are capable. They are coming to meet Shiv, not the company. Because if you go that way, then your success is completely correlated with the company's success. If the company is failing, then you're failing. But how do you succeed even though no matter what happens in the company, okay, Shiv has put himself forward to succeed, right? That's when it comes in. You use the company as a brand to kind of find the kind of people that you do, and then become friends with them, build a relationship with them. That's when your networking skills comes in. That's when your relationship building skills comes in. Build that relationship and then see if they share the same vision as yours. Right now, I know for a fact Shiv has a personal contact in Sweden who's doing exactly what Shiv wants to do: be involved in different industries, see how things are working, and that person right now, yeah, is almost on the stage of just having fun, retiring and stuff like that. But Shiv is just starting. But at least he can learn a lot from him. He can learn exactly what he did, how he did it, what is the different ways he's used to done it. But he can use that knowledge actually for his own thing as well. But now if he learns all that from him and he's stuck to an industry, stuck to a company, all that knowledge is literally unspent. That energy is useless. Because he has to just spend it on one particular narrow, like Shiv said, it's a horse that's just blinded to just see one particular spot. You can't look at different directions. Which is why now Shiv said, no, I want to go after the world now. Not just one thing, I want to go after the world. But for anyone who is in this situation right now who wants to become the next big thing in their company, again, think from this angle as well. If I become the CMO, it's not easy to become a CMO. You still have to do what it takes to become a CMO. Yes, you'll get paid well. Yes, you'll be in a good company, and yes, good for you. No one's stopping you. But at the same time, you have to see if it rings to you. Like if a person like me, yeah, it would have rung to me. I would have made sure that I become the best CMO out there, right? I would have used that to become something else. But you also have to realize if that's not who you are, if you're not a power hungry guy, if you're not someone who's hungry after making sure that he's the best out there, he wants to show he's the best in a different industry, he wants to show he's the best in a completely different lens. It's a good thing that you realize that sooner because then you don't spend your energy on something useless because time is money and money is time. So you make sure you spend on the right thing after you realize and then you go for the things that you want. This was the second part of the discussion. So now, what did you choose, Steve? You tell them what did you choose now.
So I have a couple of stuff to add as well.
Please, yeah.
So in this case, so basically I'll let you guys know about the two major things to keep in mind to not fuck up being a CMO. Okay, which I realized. One is that you need to understand how big is the organization. How big is the organization? Is it a small? Is it less than 100 people? Is it 100 people? 1,000 people? And second is the internal contacts and the external contacts you make from the organization. I'll elaborate on that. So I'll give you two examples. One is where I know someone who's also like made it. There's a millionaire. Now he has worked for a smaller company of 100 people, okay, and becoming a CMO in that case is a bit different. I'll tell you why. Me working in a 1,500 plus employee organization, I don't directly work with the CEO. Okay. So what happens in this case is I have extra challenges and extra things to be drained of while aligning things and trying to execute it. Versus, let's say if this company was 200 people, okay, and I was having the same mindset of CMO, my ideas were reached directly. I'll get a feedback directly, and I can shape the vision along with the CMO. There's no extra things to deal with, extra layers, extra people to align with. That changes the whole equation as well. So that is understanding of that is very important, which I actually got after thinking a lot about this piece. Because I might have been able to change the vision a bit, tweak a bit if it was a bit smaller setup. Okay, so that is one. You need to understand where you are right now and then tweak if the environment is for you. Of course, the environment I am in, I'm actually good in the space I do. I have a very perfect environment, perfect team and stuff. But it's gone so big, the whole organization has gone so big that it's like it's very difficult to align with the main guy and trying to see where I'm trying to go, right? Which changes a lot of stuff, which makes it more challenging. And it's like your driving force will be very different than a guy who's in a 100 people company.
Makes sense.
Now that is one. The second thing which you should know to not fuck up with a CM or decision is that the context. So the way I saw it recently is that once I had told you, I made my achievement list from ChatGPT and I got a bit pumped. I was like, you know what? Let's try to see whatever contacts I have within the organization and the people who I have met outside through the organization. The idea was to see, okay, achievement. Okay, what is the achievement that, okay, I want to get myself published in one of the media publications, like top media publications, as an author for some article, that establish my credibility. Now, how can I do that? Okay, I know someone who's a partner of the company and he comes in once in a while to talk about the marketing stuff. And I was like, fine, okay, let's understand from him because he has already got himself published somewhere and he already wrote a book. So I know these things I can understand from him. Okay, so this gives me an idea of, okay, what do I want from the company side? I can ask him X stuff, and on Y stuff, which is about myself, I can take it from him because he'll guide as a mentor in this field because he's passionate about that piece. So that was one element to it. That is the internal contact I got from the company, even the employees within. I'll give you an example where basically, okay, I'll give you two examples. One is where even the cleaner which was there in the office, right, it depends how you talk to people, right? I was talking to him, I first joked to him about, I don't know, some girl joke came in, and we both laughed, and then he's like, I have to save enough money to even get married and blah blah blah. We kept talking, and he was like, okay, so what are you gonna do when you go home? Like, what are you gonna start something? Are you gonna just chill? And he's a cleaner, by the way, and he'll go back to, I don't know, he's from Bangladesh, so he'll go back over there. He said, no, I wanna. So basically, he thought for a while. He said, should I tell him? Should I not tell him? Then he told me that he's like, I want to buy a printer for like T-shirt printing. Like it has graphics which can be printed. And he said, in my area, it's very high in demand, and I can print whatever logo or whatever slogan you want, and that's actually picking up. So maybe the trend is a bit slow over there, but he has that vision in mind. He wants to do that kind of stuff. And he said he already knew the prices of the printer. He already knew how much time it takes. He already knew the supplier who's gets him the t-shirts, and he already has complete understanding. And that's a cleaner, by the way. So first is getting to tap that side of people. That is a skill which I believe I have. So when I talk to anybody, I'm able to unlock that side of people, and I can sense it who has, who doesn't have it. That is a skill I developed over time, and that has helped me a lot. So even if I'm within the organization, I know who is working on side stuff as well, and how can I link it through them. So the example I gave within the company, which is very important. You might have, let's say, I have a bigger company, it's 1,500 people working over here, so I have access to these kind of people as well, right? People have things aside. I can save a lot of time to understand things from them, and they can help me, and I can help them vice versa. I know someone within the company, same talk. There's a whole VP who joined, and I was talking to her, and she mentioned to me that no one opens up directly. You have to expose, you have to be a bit vulnerable in that case. You be vulnerable, and then you say, I'm doing this kind of stuff. They open up and they say, you know what, I'm also investing in X companies, and I used to be a journalist. I now I have this contact. I'm trying to build this stuff. So I got that understanding. Now, when you understand this whole piece and you know each person what they have, then you sit and be like, you know what, how can I connect these dots for the achievements I want to achieve, and which parts will they unlock for me? So that is where you change the whole game. So this is the internal piece. Now, okay, through the company, like you said, I met the Google. I went to the Google event. I met a lot of Google contacts as well. I have another guy in Sweden, who I'm directly touch with. I have like monthly calls with him. It's mainly for the company, but yeah, you establish a bond. Okay, you speak to him. You know what else are you doing? You explore this kind of stuff. Now I know that he is okay. He is into mentorship as well. He does that. He likes that kind of stuff. Okay, he has also been he's a CEO, so he's leading a company. He sold his company to another big organization, which is public. Okay, so the kind of scale he's going for. I also know that he doesn't want to do it because now he feels same problem. He feels he's been controlled by a bigger organization and he can't execute his vision. So he's like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna go all out. I'm just gonna help companies from whoever are stuck, the startups that are stuck in a stagnancy of revenue. I'm gonna go and scale them. So I understand that vision from him now. Now I have to just make sure this information, this data which is collected, how does it link to my piece? So there might be multiple ways of linking them, but now we just sit, have like a mind map and link all of these pieces inside and out of how you can achieve these pieces. That's the second part which nobody thinks as much because they only think about, okay, this person, company is doing this, how do they link and try to get the work done? No. So that is why I naturally started doing it, which is why I'm more in the space where, okay, I'm working in this company, but these are the things, these are the leverages basically for me to scale things higher. So that is another part I want to touch when you're talking about this. Now, I want to clarify the model I was going for because I think we didn't touch it as much. So the whole idea which I was going for was that let's say I work in this organization right now. My whole idea was I'm spending my 8 hours, 9 hours a day. I might as well maximize it to the maximum. Okay, so whole idea was to increase my leverage. How did I plan for that? Okay, I work for 9 hours every day over here. I have X amount of learning coming every day. I used to document each of these. Let's say today maybe run a campaign. You found something extremely interesting which nobody knows. I note it down. Okay, I used to do that every day. If you do it, you'll have a massive list of whatever your learnings are, and you don't forget because you're writing it down. Now my whole idea was this is collecting. I'm also handling a team, so I have this leadership insights as well. How can you lead a team, lead a marketing team, lead a performance marketing team to be more precise? So I have this information as well. Now my whole goal was to maximize this, put it out as a media form. Let's say the Instagram becomes a platform to showcase what I know, and if someone else is looking at that, they can come with an opportunity for me. They can just come in and you can take me in. That's the idea. Use that piece to build an audience on Insta. Whoever sees me, I can get more stuff coming in. But adding on to that, my idea was to build more credibility, which is why I thought of all of these pieces of, like a guest post and, getting my course out. These are all parts of it. So the whole idea was to use the company's main working part and learn from them, add some value as well, make my own learning list and try to maximize through the media way, like Instagram and all these courses I'll be building. That was the idea. Now, what happened over here when I spoke to Vignesh, there's a bit of clarity which got in. Is that okay? I'm depending on the company a bit too much. Because let's say if the company is out of the equation, okay, let's say the company is gone and then now I have to just be with the model I have, with the Instagram page I have, the Udemy course I'm trying to build, the community I'm trying to build on Discord. Everything falls apart because I don't have anywhere else to learn this stuff. And mind you, the company I work for, I'm able to handle like $1 million a month for paid advertising, which I won't get anywhere else right now. Even if with my own money, I can't do that kind of stuff. So learning will be not coming in as much as possible. Which is why when he asked me that, I got stuck. I was like, fuck, yeah, that makes sense, because depending too much on one source. And he mentioned that it should be the other way around. You should be so big in a way that you should be contributing to the company and then, then channelize things. So now it's like the company is a bigger piece and I'm latching onto it. I'm like a parasite and I'm trying to grow my size from there. But instead, I should be a bit bigger and then try to give that input as well. So when you see it from that lens, it changes how you can operate because now you have to unlock more options to learn. Because right now, what happened is I narrowed my mind so much that okay, I'm only focusing on this piece, 8 9 hours. I'm going to go all in and try to maximize my learning over there, which is fine. I'm have this contacts, I'm doing all that, but I still need some other source of still making me learn things. Example, now, if you remove company from the equation, and I still have a community of people who do stuff in their own space, different industries, they are sharing their learnings. I might have some learning I share with them as well. That's a source which is always keeping me in touch of the trends, always keeping me in touch of what's ongoing, which normally I was avoiding all this time because now I'm an introverted guy. I don't go out for networking events as much. I don't actually put myself out as much. So in my case, this model seemed the best. But now from Vignesh's perspective, this is the way how it can be. Now, when I think of it and I reflect on it, it makes sense because I still need to have a source of information, apart from one piece, because that's the part of diversifying your risk, right? I never thought of it from that way. I need to diversify my risk in a sense of I need to have more sources of learning, more sources of contributing and growing in that sense. So now this whole having a like-minded group of people is one. There might be more ways as well. I have to still explore. But the whole idea should be I should learn from multiple spaces and then try to build this whole course or what I'm going for, and then that build the same piece, but try to maximize on this end as well. Now I tried it. I mean, it's like, well, how do you call it? Like I didn't do it consciously, but something similar happened where let's say the team members working under me, because the way I have built my team around, they are very transparent in a sense. They'll just say, you know what, yeah, I got a job interview from this, and they're asking these kind of questions because I built it that way. I built it that way that people are so open that we go beyond this company. We are learning, and everything is beyond this space. Yeah. We right now we have a vision to where we're going, but it's beyond that. We are still so that is why it creates a very safe place for people to say things. So the benefit of that is that one of my team member got opportunity from one of the real estate companies to do performance marketing. Okay, and they had a different kind of test. They had different kind of questions they asked in the interview. So the way they used to run the ads, the way they used to structure things was something very good. Like we weren't doing it enough. Okay, so we're like, okay, what can we do from this piece? Because we have a very transparent, team within. He was like he shared that whole document. He showed it to the whole team as well. And now we're trying to figure out, okay, how can we apply the best thing we have over there and try to do it here. Same thing. I have another team member who also has something on the side ongoing. She got a contract from another company from US, which showed them Google Ads. And Google Ads, they have like I think 7,000 campaigns running. Now to handle 7,000 campaigns is a different structure which comes in place. Right now we are at like 500 or 600 campaigns. So the learning she gets over there, now that can translate over here. So right now I'm not doing it by myself, but even the team can do the same thing if you have a right environment. True. So that's an additional point I want to add, that okay, you have to do it, but you don't forget you have a team as well. So maximize this whole learning as an ecosystem and then build this whole piece, because they can also go talk to other communities, they can see something and they can bring on the table. In fact, your whole team can be on a WhatsApp group sharing insights, and you can still, you can still grow together because this is the team you've worked every day in, day out. So you can nurture that part as well.
No, I completely believe in that as well, because if you go see my LinkedIn, it said the same thing, right? Have the right people with you, and even if you do something wrong, the people will take care of you. Because they're there. They give you the learnings, they tell you what's going wrong, then you bounce off ideas as well. But it's a good thing that you added this because it completes the two main things which, I mean, I want to talk about three things, but it completed the two things. Now, the final destination here was okay, if I'm letting go of this opportunity, the opportunity that I'm taking should be equally or higher than what I'm going to do, right? You can't just take an opportunity which puts you lower. Yeah. So now, if you guys listen to this whole thing and you reach to this point, now you'd understand that, okay, even if Shiv goes on his own path and does what he wants to do, at the end of the day, he will reach in a position where he can always become a CMO for the company. Because now you're not just becoming a CMO for one company. Now you're putting yourself to become a CMO for 1,000 different companies. How? Because now let's say Shiv's company is focused on one industry, right? He does everything right. The same way. Networks with the right people, bounces of ideas in different ways, blah, 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 right? But let's say all his lens is going to be focused on his own industry. He's going to take all his lessons that he learns, put it in one industry, and see what he can do the best. And that industry, let's say, is the industry that his company is focused on. So eventually he will become the CMO because he'll be that one guy who knows his shit compared to everyone around him, right? Now let's say Shiv goes on his own journey, learns everything from different industries. But the difference here is he'll be able to learn the fullest capacity of each tool in different industries, because not every industry can use the tool to its maximum capacity. Some industries, like if you take Netflix for example, works best in, I can say, YouTube ads and so Insta, because that's what I see. They don't give a fuck about Google ads because they don't need someone to go put Netflix and sign up with a link or some shit like that. I'm just coming up with an example on the spot because it makes sense, right? But if you see an organization, they would use Google ads more because a lot of people use Google to find them rather than a YouTube or Insta. So entertainment industry, finance, health, real estate, every industry uses different kinds of social media to become the best version of themselves. Now, if Shiv puts himself in a plate where he can see everything in a 360-degree angle, which industry works best in which social media tool, his idea of a performance marketer will become something else. Now that puts him in a place to become CMO for any fucking company in any industry because he knows what works, what doesn't work. But at the same time, once you stick with one industry, you become the best in that. But I'm not saying here he's not going to be inexperienced and it's not like jack of all trades, master of none. No, he's a master of one, which is performance marketing. Because performance marketing as a core has the same processes in all across different industries. So now he's going to capture that, and no matter what, he's going to become this like he's going to put himself in a position to become the exact level as a CMO or even higher than that. So the lessons of this is the three things I want to talk about. So now that we've reached this third stage, make sure that the opportunity that you're leaving for and going is equal or better than the opportunity that you have in hand. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Let's say if you have a vision and you know for a fact that it's going to be extremely hard and the success rate is extremely small, yeah, be optimistic. I'm not saying no. But at the same time, know what you have in hand and what you don't have and understand your weakness. Play the devil's advocate with yourself. Suspect everything. Because if you don't do that, no one else is going to do that for you. If you're going to say, okay, you know what, I want to leave this, I will become the best in that, and you have a false reality, and then you realize that, holy shit, I didn't have the necessary resources and tools to become the best at what I need to do. So at least I hope this has helped you understand that, okay, even though Shiv had the opportunity right there, it was just sitting there for him that he can just go take that CMO position. Yeah, of course, not just going to take it, he has to work hard for it, but it was right there. He still chose to go in a different way to still become the same person or even better because that route or that journey was more fulfilling for him rather than just one narrowly focused in like journey. So yeah, hopefully that's the lesson that's this is the culmination of the conversation that we're having, and hopefully you guys learned a lot from this. And yeah, anything else you want to add, Shiv?
Nah, I think they you I mean we exposed me this time. I think next time should be you.
You will expose me. That sounds so wrong, but yeah, you will expose. I will expose myself once I make the kind of money that I want to make,
Yeah.
or once I get the kind of money that I have to get, and then you guys will
No,
see.
but this is nice. I think this gives some more realistic picture as well of what is happening in the background. Because normally we talk about a lot of stuff which we don't understand pass on, but this is more like okay, we also struggle in certain aspects, and this is how we are planning to take things. Because there are two ways of looking at it. One is that okay, we can keep complaining and bitching of where we got stuck in. Second is we actually tell you guys this is what we are thinking, this is what we're planning to do, and this is a situation and we're trying to beat it, and we can go for something bigger. Because even the CMO piece right now might feel like an extremely big piece, but what exactly I'm going for is to be the of course the best performance marketer is one, but be the best guy who can teach this kind of stuff as well.
That's true.
So my vision changes, my way of aligning things will change because it's like now to make sure that I'm the best one as a teacher, or I don't know, like somebody who educates people about this piece, and that gives me more purpose right now because the purpose is the thing which drives me because I don't feel satisfied right now. That is self reflection which comes in. Now I know exactly, okay, I like teaching this kind of stuff and courses. That's why courses and all this stuff which I'm trying to do is aligned to that. If you have a different purpose, your achievements, everything will be a bit different from what I'm trying to do. So then you can align your own path in that direction right now.
True.
So the goal is right now to use the whole internal network I have, maximize it while I'm also doing the daily stuff which I'm already doing, and then just transition through it because this is still shaping up. I'm just trying to build build this whole path and just jump on it and move. It's not like nothing will move right now. It's just the plan got a bit changed in this whole way of how we're looking at it. It's a perspective podcast basically of how both perspectives are fine, but this is what you need to reflect and come out of it, which is the whole learning in this piece. Reflection and then accepting that any path, there's no defined path. Everybody has their own path, and it's not like I can judge Vignesh for what he's taking and he can judge me for it because we have our own path. But at the end, we'll see you guys after the $1 million is what the game is like.
Peace out, guys. Peace out.
See you.